When you think of the world's most legendary spy agencies, one name always comes up, usually in a whisper: Mossad. It's an agency that feels almost mythical, right? Synonymous with these daring, high-stakes operations, shadowy assassins, and a global reach that seems to defy all logic. But here's the thing that'll really make you wonder. How on earth did a nation literally born from the ashes of tragedy, surrounded by enemies from day one, manage to build one of the most powerful and feared intelligence agencies on the entire planet? Well, the answer is an incredible story of survival, of pure innovation, and some absolutely ruthless determination. To really get Mossad, you can't start with the modern-day legends. No, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. Back to a time of absolute crisis, where the very existence of a new country was hanging by a thread. Just look at this timeline. It tells you everything you need to know. 1948, Israel declares its independence and, bam, is immediately at war. The very next year, Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion realizes they need eyes and ears everywhere, so he sets up a central intelligence body. And by 1951, it gets reorganized into the Mossad we know today, answering to one person and one person only, the Prime Minister. This wasn't some strategic choice, it was survival. And this quote from Ben-Gurion? It's basically the agency's DNA in a single sentence. These weren't just words, this was the core belief. For this tiny new country, intelligence wasn't about projecting power, it was about staying alive. It was the first and maybe the most important line of defense they had. Okay, so you've built the agency, but an agency is nothing without its agents, right? So how does Mossad create the world's most elite spies, these operatives they call Qatsas? Well, it all starts with one of the most insane selection processes you can possibly imagine. This whole process is designed to break people, simple as that. It kicks off with these crazy intense psychological screenings. Then, for weeks, they just throw candidates into simulations of high-pressure, real-life missions. We're talking mock arrests, mock interrogations, all to find their absolute breaking point. Over 70% of candidates are cut. Only the toughest, most clever recruits even get a ticket to the actual training program. And then you get tests like this one. It's just wild. Picture this. You're in a public square. Your handler points to a random apartment building, picks a balcony, and says, "You've got 10 minutes. I want to see you standing on that balcony with the person who lives there holding a glass of water." Think about that. It's not about being strong, it's about being brilliant, audacious, and having this unbelievable skill to make a total stranger trust you in seconds. And if that's not enough, Mossad has a secret weapon that no other agency on Earth has: the Sayanim. Now, these aren't official spies. They are Jewish civilians living all over the world who, out of a sense of devotion, provide critical help. So, a Mossad agent needs to vanish in Paris? A Sayanim won't get them a car. Need a safe house in Rome? A Sayan can help. It's this massive, unofficial global support network that's basically invisible. All right, so you've got these elite agents, and you've got this incredible network. Let's see what happens when you put them together on what is maybe Mossad's most famous operation ever. This is a real-life spy thriller that brought one of history's worst monsters to justice. The target was Adolf Eichmann. And this wasn't just any Nazi. This guy was one of the main architects of the Holocaust, the man who organized the logistics of murdering millions. After the war, poof, he vanished. Turns out he was living a quiet life in Argentina under a fake name, Ricardo Clement. For Israel, finding him wasn't just a mission, it was a sacred duty. The hunt began with a tip in 1957, but the trail went cold for years. Then, in late '59, Mossad agents in Buenos Aires picked up the scent again. On May 11, 1960, as he was walking home from work, a team just snatched him off the street. They held him for 9 days in a secret safe house, making absolutely sure it was him. And then it came the most audacious part. They drugged him, dressed him up like a flight attendant, and smuggled him onto a plane back to Israel. And in that one moment of capture, as they shoved Eichmann into the car, agents V. Aharoni leaned in and whispered in German, "Ein Laut und du bist tot." One sound and you're dead. I mean, that's not from a movie. That was the raw, life-or-death reality of that mission. Now, the world celebrated the capture of this monster. But the way it happened? Well, that cast a really harsh light on Mossad's methods and kicked off some tough questions that people are still asking today. See, Mossad's incredible effectiveness comes at a cost. The agency is constantly being accused of, well, a lot. violating the sovereignty of other countries, carrying out targeted assassinations, and basically operating by its own set of rules completely outside of international law. This is the heart of the debate about what's acceptable in the world of espionage. Even with the Eichmann capture, a mission pretty much everyone agreed was just, the international community pushed back. Argentina was furious that its laws were completely ignored. And this quote from the UN basically says, yeah, we get it, he's a bad guy, but you can't just go around kidnapping people on foreign soil. It just shows you the huge gap between what feels right and what's actually legal. And then, if you want the ultimate example of this, there's Operation Wrath of God. After the murder of 11 Israeli athletes at the 1972 Munich Olympics, Mossad launched a years-long mission to hunt down and kill every single person involved. It was raw, brutal revenge, and it cemented Mossad's reputation as an agency with a license to kill. So, from the back streets of Buenos Aires to the digital world of the 21st century, Mossad has had to evolve. The spy game isn't just about fake passports and dead drops anymore. The new shadow war is fought online, on a digital frontier. Today, espionage is basically a two-front war. You've still got the classic stuff, what they call human intelligence, or HUMINT. That's your agents on the ground. But now that's paired with cyber intelligence, or cybint. We're talking hacking, malware, digital warfare. And Mossad has become a master of both. In the engine behind Israel's cyber power, it's a legendary group called Unit 8200. You can think of it as Israel's version of the NSA. But it's more than that. It's like a super elite incubator for tech geniuses. Veterans from this unit don't just go into Mossad. They go on to build Israel's entire tech industry. It's this incredible cycle of intelligence and innovation. And if you want to see what they can do, just look at Stuxnet. This thing was a complete game changer. A piece of computer code supposedly built by the US and Israel that didn't just steal information. It actually crossed over into the physical world. It got into Iran's nuclear facilities and caused their centrifuges to literally spin out of control and destroy themselves. It set their program back years without a single shot being fired. And don't for a second think this is some small, scrappy little agency. The numbers are staggering. We're talking around 7,000 employees and a budget getting close to $3 billion. That makes it one of the biggest intelligence agencies in the entire world, which is just incredible for a country the size of Israel. So, from its birth in a moment of crisis to its dominance in cyberspace, Mossad is just full of contradictions. It's a protector and a rule breaker, a force for justice, and sometimes an instrument of revenge. And that leaves us with one final, kind of unsettling question. In this world of shadows and secrets, is it even possible for the whole truth about an agency like Mossad to ever really see the light of day?